degrees.
All right, looks like a good one. Thanks, Justin. Hey, it's time to talk movies, though. Film critic Josh Bell's here with the Bell Breakdown. And we are talking Halloween.
Yes, we are.
I have a feeling that you're a fan of the original Halloween. Am I right?
Yeah, the first Halloween from 1978 it's a classic. It's a great horror movie, and it's just a really good movie. I think there have been many other Halloween movies that are not as good. Some of them, in fact, are quite bad. But if you look back to the original, it's really good. And it's actually playing this weekend at the Sin City Horror Fest, if you want to check it out.
Okay, that's cool. So they redid it.
Yes.
And I have a feeling you don't like it as much as the original.
Well, nothing is going to be as good as the original. And I mean, this is not exactly a remake. What this is actually a direct sequel to the original. So what they've done here is kind of pretended like all the other movies didn't happen. And now we've got Jamie Lee Curtis back as Laurie Strode, who was the original final girl victim of Michael Myers in the first movie. And it's 40 years later, and she's spent all this time kind of traumatized by her experience being stalked by Michael Myers. And Michael Myers has been in prison, or rather in a mental institution this whole time, and he breaks out and he's back. And which of course is the plot of every other Halloween sequel. But it streamlines things, and it focuses more on the idea of Laurie as this person who's dealt with this for so long. She's almost like Linda Hamilton in Terminator 2. She's spent her whole life becoming this survivalist and training to face Michael Myers again, to the detriment of her family, her daughter played by Judy Greer, and her granddaughter, who's kind of the new generation of the teens who get stalked by Michael Myers. So it tries to give something a little deeper thematically than just here he is again slashing a bunch of people up, but there's a lot of that too. And that's okay. I think this is a perfectly entertaining horror movie. I think if you like the Halloween movies, this is a lot better than most of them. At the same time, it's not necessarily, it doesn't transcend that, I think, as much as maybe they were going for. It's a good, fun slasher movie for people who like slasher movies. It's not really any more than that.
Okay, I see. So, you know, if you're in the Halloween spirit,
go check it out. If you've watched the original, which of course you should watch the original because it's great, and you like Jamie Lee Curtis, check her out again in this one.
Okay, want to touch on the next movie in a minute. We've got a minute and a half left, but what is your favorite Halloween movie? I'm just curious, slasher movie or whatever.
Of the Halloween series?
No, just Halloween in general.
I don't, you know,
horror movie.
I love A Nightmare on Elm Street, the original A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Too.
That's probably my favorite. Another series where there have been a lot of terrible entries, but that original is just a brilliant, funny, sad, weird, just great movie. I love it.
True. Good one. Okay. All right, so let's talk about the next movie. The Hate U Give. It's a teen drama based on a novel?
Yeah, it was a very popular young adult novel from last year. And unlike a lot of these young adult adaptations where you expect the sci-fi Hunger Games thing, this is a realistic kind of social issue film about a teen who's dealing with a friend of hers who's been shot, was involved in a police shooting. He was an unarmed black teenager shot by a police officer during a traffic stop, and this teenager, played by Amandla Stenberg, who actually was in one of the Hunger Games movies, as well as Everything from last year, is kind of a rising teen star. So this character, she has to deal with whether she's going to speak out about what happened, and there's a sort of tension in her life as she lives in this African-American neighborhood with her family, but she goes kind of across town to this more upscale, all-white school. So it deals with a lot of current social issues. The story of what happened to this teenager is kind of distilled from a lot of real-life things that have happened over the years, but it streamlines it a bit. It is for teenagers mainly, although it's a well-made drama, so it's maybe heavy-handed at times. It simplifies things a little too much, but Amandla Stenberg is really good. I think she's an excellent actress. She was really good in Everything, which was another young adult adaptation that didn't work quite as well. She really holds this movie together. I think it gives you the message in a way that you can relate to emotionally without kind of softening it too much. And I think it's a solid, if occasionally blunt, drama.
Got it. Okay. Maybe see.
Yeah, I think check it out if you are interested in these kinds of things or if you read the book.
Okay, great. The Bell Breakdown for this Friday. And we head toward Halloween. Thanks, Josh. See you next week.